Hello, I'm Mabel Jong, and you're watching the World Healthcare Congress Interview Zone. I'm very pleased to have Dr. Peter Tippett here, who is Chief Medical Officer and Vice President of Verizon Innovation Incubator. Hello there, Dr. Tippett. How are you?
How are you?
That's a mouthful. It really is. And there must be even more going on at Verizon in this area of innovation. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, we're in Verizon, we're trying to figure out how we can raise all boats in healthcare. It isn't about building a product or building a technology and going and competing with people like that. It's about building new infrastructures that everyone could ride on, solving some of the harder problems that are holding back the innovation in healthcare. Like, for example, compliance with regulations. Pretty difficult thing. We were just at a session in which every panelist said that they spend the most reliable, most of their dedicated money is organized around staying compliant with the regulation. Well, that's too big of a burden if you're going to do that and change the world, right?
Right, sounds like it.
So we at Verizon wonder maybe we can take some of the load off the entrepreneurs, off of the hospitals, off the insurance companies, take some of that load on by providing services that are more compliant, are more organized around solving the compliance problems. Give you an example. We've got many data centers around the country that are cloud, co-location, all the rest. But they're natively organized around the HIPAA regulation, so that becoming HIPAA compliant, which a hospital or might need to be, is much easier in those environments. Or an even better one, we've got a platform we call Universal Identity. We just moved 65 million prescriptions across it last year, 35 in the first quarter of this year.
How is that possible?
And it's all Schedule II drugs. This is the stuff that requires digital signing and DEA requirements and FDA requirements and HIPAA requirements and NIST requirements and on and on and on and on. But we built the system with all of that done. So all of a sudden we could plug it into somebody's EMR, and instead of the doctor having to log in 3 ways and give a blood sample and a facial recognition and all the other stuff, we can handle the two-factor authentication part, we can handle the digital signing part, we can handle the public key infrastructure part and all the craziness that has to happen to do it according to the way the law works. And the doctor can merely get a request for an order or a prescription or CPOE or whatever on their iPad or phone or whatever and click yes, yes, yes. They don't need to even go to the EMR to get the work done. And this can help anybody's EMR, it could help anybody's hospital, it could help anybody's sort of system. It's not that the Verizon name will show up anywhere, right? It raises all boats in the whole ecosystem.
Well, we certainly have come a long way on the technology front in healthcare. Why aren't we seeing more of what you're doing at Verizon more widespread throughout the industry?
Well, I think what we're doing at Verizon is organized around whole country, whole world scale, right? We're not organizing ourselves around a single city or a region or whatever, as you would expect. We are making great success. We're growing faster than any other division in Verizon.
Interesting.
The healthcare portion. That's partly because healthcare is sort of behind as far as health information technology goes. It's also important because healthcare has got the biggest need, right? I mean, we need to change our information technology use in order to drive out, the $70+ billion of waste that's in the system, and bend the cost curve and improve quality and all that. So,
a typical Verizon customer might be surprised to hear that Verizon is so far ahead in this area, but does it actually make complete sense because you are in data services? Well,
yeah. Most people in America think of Verizon because we're a cell phone company and they're a consumer, or they're in our footprint of Fios or the television and whatnot, and they think of us as a consumer-driven company. But almost a third of our business is enterprise-oriented, where we sell to the corporations of the world, to the countries of the world, right? We run a big piece of the worldwide internet. 150 some odd countries are using the Verizon internet as part of their infrastructure. Just in healthcare, it's tens of thousands of companies that use something in Verizon's infrastructure, just in healthcare. And so the Verizon Enterprise Services is organized around us helping those companies, whether they're little startups or whether they're big established players, accelerate their momentum into change. So for example, in innovation, we've got our own a reward program we call Powerful Answers. Last year we gave away $10 million to the top 15 ideas. We hired a bunch of people in healthcare about 5 years ago, big crowd, and we've put together a set of programs, and we gave away $1 million for the top award and so on. These are just people with good ideas in healthcare, right? We support a bunch of other incubators and accelerators, like the Mass Challenge one, or like Health Evolution Partners, a large venture firm. Verizon has its own venture firm. You wouldn't expect all this, Verizon Ventures, right? Verizon has 2 places we call our innovation centers, where we bring third parties in and help, for example, get glucose meters and blood pressure cuffs and all that stuff mobilized and onto the network, or get the apps organized in a way that they can be compliant. And then we have the the Innovation Incubator, which I manage, which is organized around getting Verizon's own innovations more organized around exact market needs and then out to market. So there's a whole slew of activities there.
Absolutely. It's exciting work. As a trained physician, Dr. Tippett, what is the message that you'd like to convey to physicians that are out still trying to figure out where they fit in this new healthcare environment we're trying to build?
Well, you know, the physicians are never going to go away. Physicians are sort of 80-85% consultants, right? They help answer questions of people's problems. And, you know, almost all of consultancy eventually turns into software in our world. So over the next 50 years, we may wind up with a lot of your questions being answered, you know, by a machine that figures out what the next, you know, how to answer your question about this mole, or about that bump, or about this procedure, or what's the best way to handle the next step on thing. But, you know, physicians are always going to be our interface for the hard questions, for the personal relations, for all that thing. And I think physician jobs are going to, they're sort of in a trough now, but I think they're going to get much more exciting and much more interesting, because doctors will be able to focus on the thing that they're the best at, and to let technology manage the things the drudgery that doctors don't want to deal with anyway. We're in this trough of disillusionment now, where the doctors have to do more drudgery, not less.
Yes, right. So the good news is on its way, sounds like.
Right, yeah.
Okay, Dr. Tippett, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, you bet.
And I'm Mabel Jung. Thanks for watching.